Welcome everyone in live to the virtual Daytona International Speedway. It's Wednesday night, and that means Ruff Neck Madness Money Racing. This is season number 2, race number 4, as we get set for 60 laps of action around the World Center of Racing tonight in the ARCA car. 45% fuel, no fast repair, fixed setups, and 1 green-white checkered if we need it. 72-degree ambient temp here in Daytona Beach. 6-mile-an-hour wind as we get set for some great action here on a Wednesday night as we go down to pit lane right now as all the drivers now gridding for tonight's race. And we are going to take you right down here to that grid and bring up those qualifying results here tonight. Logan Clampett, he is your pole sitter. Chris Melton outside front row here. He will start second for Ruff Neck Racing. Daniel Eberhardt III will start in third here tonight. Garrett Maines in fourth. Caden Diedrich in fifth. Jared Haynes will start sixth. Nathan Harper in seventh. Chase Mistretta in eighth. James Gordolf in ninth. Jeff Merck in 10th. John Darnell will start 11th here tonight, and Brian Hennings 12th. Cody Neagles 13th. Joe Horta in 14th. Wyatt Gray will start 15th. Scott Warren will start 16th. Stephen Miles 17th. And Mark Bondell, he will start in the 18th position. Starting number 19 here tonight, that will be the man, Kenny Reel, for the Jack Shack. Starting in 20th tonight, Adam Young, Jack Shack teammate. Daniel Falkingham will start 21st. Corey Wright, 22nd. Hunter Hastings will start 23rd. Chris Walker, 24th. Nash Brambilla for Team PGR, 25th. Freddie Bazinez, 26th. James Waring, 27th. Aaron Vasquez, 28th. Christopher Carter, 29th. Rocky Boyd III in 30th. Sean Corbett will start 31st. Chris Ramsey, 32nd. Brandon McKee, 33rd. Dylan Basin, 34th. Dylan Jones, he will start in the 35th position. John Ward, 36th. Trevor Ashronoff, 37th. Nick Seipel will start in 38th. Austin Green in 39th. Joshua McCullough in 40th. Sterling Thies in 41st. And rounding out your 42-car field here tonight, that will be Steve Sizemore. So a 42-car field here tonight. As we get set to go green, it'll be Daniel Eberhardt on the pole, Chris Melton on the outside front row. As the pace car lights are out, we will go green this time by season number 2, race number 4. James Wagner Welding is the sponsor as we get set to go green here in the ARCA Series car at Daytona. Pace car to pit lane. Eberhardt, Melton to the Geico restart zone. Green flag here in the air at Daytona. Lap number 1 here in the books of 60 tonight. Garrett Maines, your leader. Right behind him, the 8 of Chase Mistretta. And Jeff Merck in tow behind them with Brian Hennings, Daniel Falkingham, your current top 5. And 2x2 here at Daytona. And a beautiful looking paint scheme there from the number 1 of Garrett Maines in the Wiggins Water Technologies Toyota Camry. Jumping to the bottom, that is the 88 of... Oh, Garrett Maines is spun from the lead through the infield. Grassy goes right across that Daytona logo. Garrett Maines back up into the track. And wow, the leader spun here in the early going. Caution does not fly. One car spin. Garrett Maines way off pace, out of the draft. Back up front, the 88. That is Falkingham. He's not overtaken by Chris Melton and Daniel Eberhard. Teammates here for Ruff Neck Racing leading early. Lap number 3, man, action-packed, 3-wide racing. And it didn't take long. These drivers getting it after it earlier. No fast repairs, so they do not have a mulligan here tonight. As Falkingham goes back down to the bottom. You see Vasquez there in the middle, trying to make that middle lane work. And wow, Holden catching my breath here early, as we have some really good action here. Mike Davenport in the chat tonight. So is Rob Donnelly, James Castellana, Danelda Adams. Appreciate you all coming here tonight on a Wednesday night. It's Caden Diedrich now to the point here. There's Caden Diedrich right there in that black Chevrolet. Getting pushed from Falkingham here in the top lane. I'll tell you what, that top lane working here tonight. Drivers running up closer to that wall, you see. Here comes on the bottom lane. That's going to be Freddie Bazinez leading the low lane here. Wyatt Gray right behind. Jared Haynes, and excuse me if I get some stuff wrong here tonight. Ooh, might have a wreck here on the racetrack. Nope. Looks like they're going to save it 3 wide here mid-pack. Nash Brambilla, looks like maybe Hunter Hastings almost involved here. As they are slicing and dicing here in the middle of the pack, and they're still going after it here. And wow, some action-packed racing here to start the night. 3 wide back up front. And these are the ARCA cars, so a lot of paint schemes. Kind of confusing here tonight. I'll try to get all the names right. Some of them just carrying some trade and paint schemes with some of the NASCAR, real-life NASCAR Driver Series names on them. So we'll have to get used to some of these schemes here tonight. Wyatt Gray into the lead in that Toyota Camry 18. And Nathan Harper now making his way to the top 5 right here behind Gray in second. Man, this race already action-packed as these drivers able to make moves and passes here, and that's what you like to see under the lights here at Daytona. And there's your race leader, Wyatt Gray. Upwards of over 190 miles an hour here down the backstretch at Daytona. Man, these guys are hauling here tonight. 193 top speed just before entry of turn number 3 for Wyatt Gray. As he's getting pushed here. Ooh, there goes a dive down for Freddie Bazinez. Daniel Falkingham a little bit farther back. He is 5 spots back here on that low lane. Still 3 wide racing. Brian Hennings now here is going to lead that middle. Wow, they're going to come up the side draft. Melton Eberhard there in the 3rd lane. We are racy here early in this one. We got one scraping off the wall there. As Harper now leads there in 39. Bazinez, John Darnell, a new player here into the top 5. John Darnell right now in 3rd. And a great showing here early for Darnell as we stay green. No cautions yet here tonight. And man, I'm surprised and actually impressed with these guys here tonight. Looked like we were going to get a caution on lap number 1, and Man, these guys kept it together, and they are racing hard here. Back for the 10th position. And it's a wad of cars. Hennings to the top of the racetrack. Brian Hennings is going to take the run. There goes Falkingham. And down the backstretch we go. We've seen 3 wide racing all night. Ooh, Hennings is going to go to block Melton. He is not clear. He's going to think better of it. Go back to the middle lane. Man, Melton had a scare there right from the front of his windshield. And riding along here with Chris Melton from Longwood, Florida. Racing for Ruff Neck Racing in the number 52. And he has daylight out in front of him here in lane number 3. As you see, he's keeping that left side of his car on those white hash marks here. And we'll see what type of run Chris Melton gets down the backstretch here. And you see this is the guy pushing him. D3 in his Ford. And one of the best here in the business. Working here tonight with Chris Melton. See Wagoner's Welding here on the back for RNR. We're going to get a great shot here of Daniel Falkingham in the middle lane. Pushing Mistretta. You can see these cars dancing all up and around the racetrack. Still 3 wide here. Chase Mistretta. The Nightmare in the red and white. Number 8 making moves into the top 5 as he gets to the back bumper of Freddie Bazinez. Bazinez goes up high. 3 wide now. Mistretta to the bottom. Bazinez all the way to the bottom. And these guys, man, I'll tell you what. It's going to be hard to race as a team tonight because I'll tell you what, in the front of this pack, you are seeing all these guys using up all the lanes, top to bottom, bottom to top. This is one of the most exciting starts to a race I have seen in quite some time. Lap number 12 here of 60. Remember, 45% fuel here tonight. So it won't be too long until we see green flag stops here at Daytona. Pit lane speed of 60 miles an hour. And you'll see these drivers migrating down to that bottom lane if possible here as this run goes on here. John Ward into the middle there for Dega Pros. So he's split 3 wide now. It just seems like the front single file, they're getting ready for pit stops. John Ward's going to dive in there. Chris Ramsey here in the race tonight in the 6th Ford Little Caesars. Oh, there's going to be a wreck here right above Ramsey. Daniel Eberhardt involved. Corbett off the track, Horta off the track, Von Dell. And the first caution here of tonight's race is out just before green flag stops. And we'll get back to that replay here in just a second. Your leader of the race here on the first run of the night, Freddie Bazinez. He leads Chase Mistretta and Daniel Falkingham in the top 3. And all these drivers going to come down for Sunoco Racing fuel. Possibly some Goodyear tires, but with the cool track temp here tonight, most likely just a fill up of the fuel. And they'll be right back out onto this track pacing till we go back green. But we'll go back here for the replay of the first yellow here tonight. Yep, 4 wide, and that's not going to work for these guys right here. Daytona, a lot more narrow than Talladega. And, wow, a big one right here, and not so good for D3 and Chris Melton working together here tonight. Let's rewind that one and see kind of where that one starts. This will give us a really good view here. We were watching Ramsey there in the 6. I believe this is Rocky Boyd. Yeah, Rocky Boyd here in the 16. He's going to split Melton out 4 wide. And they have room. There is room. D3 is going to go up to that wall. And we'll see if they net code it all. They possibly do, but I'll tell you what, Rocky Boyd forces that issue there. And that's going to cause the first caution of the night. Nash Brambell able to get away from that one, as is Chris Walker. Caution number 1 here on Wednesday night. And we'll go back live here the front of this field. John Ward now being scored your leader in the 92 Toyota of Dega Pros. Possibly a little bit different strategy there. I'm not possibly sure, but he grabs the lead over Daniel Falkingham. And wow, what a first part of tonight's race. Some really good racing here in this ARCA car at night at Daytona. And man, these cars are racy here tonight as they sit behind the pace car here on the backstretch. When we get around here, the pace car lights will go off, so we'll pace for another lap and a half. And we'll take a quick break here tonight on the PGR eSports Network. Back here live at Daytona. We are live here on the PGR eSports Network. Freddie Bazin as Daniel Falkingham. They'll lead us to green for the second time here tonight. Chase Mistretta, Nathan Harper, Aaron Vasquez. It's their current top 5 here tonight. And while we have a second, we'll see if we could get a word with the man in the 8. Chase Mistretta, you got a copy?
What's up?
All right, man. Well, I'll tell you what, you're looking racy here tonight in that Budweiser Nightmare number 8. Right behind the leader here, Freddie Bazin, is on this restart. Walk us through that first run of the night really quick. It looked like some really exciting racing.
It really just worked out for me and opened up to get behind Garrett right there in P2. Unfortunately, he went down the track just a hair and it just hooked the shit out of him. Nothing I could do about that.
Well, you know what?
And dropped back, got back up here. Got to stay up here for the rest of the night.
That's a good idea here. Up in the top 5, Chase Mistretta. Good luck the rest of the night. Maybe we'll be talking to you here on the podium and or in Victory Lane later tonight.
Take it easy.
That was Chase Mistretta. We'll see if he can get a good launch here on this restart as we go green for the second time here tonight. Pace car down pit lane. Bazin has Falkingham in the Geico restart zone. Green flag back into the air at Daytona. Falkingham, a great start here on the top lane. Nathan Harper right behind those two teammates here tonight. Mistretta, he's going to go to the high lane. That high lane is working here in the early going. Cool track temp as we are dark under the lights. The world center of racing. Down the backstretch we go. Bazinez getting a run. Here is the 93 on the bottom. Pushing Bazinez, I believe, Aaron Vasquez. John Darnell as well, still up here in the front. Warren, Scott Warren, that is. Here he comes in the 76. As we are 2 by 2, but a lot of movement here, middle of the pack. And we go 3 wide here already, mid-pack on back. And got to be careful here. These guys changing lanes, and when they do, man, it looks like we're going to have a big accident. But so far, so good. These guys doing a great job here tonight. One of those guys doing a good job, that is going to be James Gilsdorf here in the number 97, as he is right around the top 10 right now. And the man behind him, Chris the Big Roost Walker for the Jack Shack in the number 23, as caution flies for the second time here tonight. Caution is out, I believe, for another incident here. Steve Sizemore off the track. And nothing here up front, but nonetheless, another caution here, and we'll go back to see, try to figure out where that was. Steve Sizemore, I believe, involved here in this one. Yeah, actually a big wreck here in the back of the pack. Wow, one we didn't even see. We're watching the middle of the pack, and we're going to get a big one here. And let's keep an eye here. Steve Sizemore's car. He's going to come up the racetrack right into the 22. And that's going to put the 22 up and into the fence. Here comes James Waring. He cannot avoid it. Heavy, heavy damage to Waring, Sizemore, and Young. Here comes Hunter Hastings. He's on the brake. Left and right he goes. Can he avoid it? He cannot. Rocky Boyd involved. Daniel Eberhardt. Man, he's going to have to go all the way to the inside wall. As the caution out for the second time here tonight. And we got to watch from Hunter Hastings' cockpit because he had a full view of this one. And this is in real time here. This is Hunter Hastings. Yep, Hunter Hastings just went to avoid it, gets hit, and ends up getting to Steve Sizemore there. Nothing he could really do there. Most all these drivers pitting here. And we'll go back up to the front. Being scored right now in first is Trevin Ashburnoff. We'll see if that stands for the Jack Shack. As we are back to pacing. A third of the way through here tonight. Lap 20 of 60. 2 yellows here so far. One right before what would have been a green flag stop. And then shortly after, another yellow there brought out by Steve Sizemore. As Ashburnoff now leads Falkingham, Harper, Bazinez, and Mistretta. And we'll see if we can get another interview with some drivers here up near the front of this pack. And we will see if we can get a word with Wyatt Gray. You got a copy?
Yep.
All right, boss. Well, get some cautions here tonight. We're going to try to bring some drivers up here into the booth. And, well, here you are in the 18 Toyota Camry here tonight. Yep, and into the top 10 here early. And from my viewpoint up here in the tower, Wyatt, it is racy out there on the track. We've seen some 3 wide. We've seen a lot of slicing and dicing and a lot of lead changes here in the front of the pack. Tell us about some of this race tonight, man. This ARCA car looking good here under the lights.
Yeah, the runs come really big in this car, so you got to be on your toes, and same with the checkups, you know. I was able to get up front for a few laps there, but then our temps got hot behind me, and I got shuffled back a little bit. And the big difference from being up front to in the pack is when you're in the pack, you got to be ready to slow up or you can kill the guy in front of you.
Well, Wyatt, hopefully we're talking to you again later. That means you'd be on the podium and or in victory lane. good luck the rest of the way here tonight, and good luck on Monday night as well in the PGR Light Series. You'll be going for the championship here in season number 2 on Monday, and hopefully see you out on tomorrow's racetrack as well. But Wyatt, good luck here the rest of the night.
Yep, thanks.
That was Wyatt Gray there in the 18 out of Columbus, Ohio. An Ohio boy, O-H-I-O, Wyatt Gray, looking to get to victory lane here tonight. But there's one guy, his name, Trevor Astronaut, now on the board here, leading at Daytona. And Falkingham now in second. Harper third. Bazinas fourth. Mistretta in fifth. Aaron Vasquez, he's been here up in the top 10 tonight in sixth. Wyatt Gray in seventh. Scott Warren in eighth. Jared Haynes in ninth. And it looks like Stephen Miles is your current top 10. So a couple cautions here on the night. We're approaching the halfway point in just 8 laps when we take this green flag, which will be this time by here at Daytona. It is 71 degrees outside. The track temp just a couple degrees warmer, 73. Clear skies here at Daytona. 9-10 mile an hour winds. It's a little bit of wind, but for the most part, a cool track. And these guys racy because of it. We'll see what they can do here. This will be the third run here of the night. Pace car ready to dive down onto pit lane yet again. Astronaut, Falkingham, side by side in the Geico restart zone. Flagman waving the green flag in the air as all these engines come back up to song. And while they do, why don't we do a good old classic NASCAR RNR Crank It Up on a Wednesday night. Big time wreck back here at Daytona during the Crank It Up, as caution has flown yet again the third time here tonight. And the 59 heavy damage. And wow, right during the Crank It Up. And we had some good shots with the camera there. And as soon as we did, they're going to rack them up here at Daytona. Heavy, heavy damage to Mark Vondell. And that'll end his night here, as his wheel, right front wheel, completely bent sideways. Rob Donnelly in the chat, crank it out, and crank it out it was. A lot of these guys up and out of this race here tonight. We'll go back to the replay and figure out what happened there, because that was a big wreck here tonight. So that's going to take out quite a few drivers here. As we get our third yellow. Let's go back and see who is involved in this one. Let's slow this one down. Ooh, there goes the 16. Man, he was just involved in the last one. Let's go farther on back. I believe that was Rocky Boyd. It's Rocky Boyd. Whether he caused it or not, he is now within both the last 2 cautions of this race. So Rocky Boyd having a little bit of a tough time here And here he comes up to the back bumper of Mark Vondel. And a little bit offset push. It doesn't really cause anything there. Chris Melton checking up. You see the flames out the pipe. And there was a checkup right there. And yet, accordion effect. And no fault to Melton there. With that accordion effect, that's going to send him around, up and around. There goes Melton into Boyd. Farther up, I believe, Stephen Miles gets loose. Yes, Stephen Miles gets loose. That's going to take out the 59. That's where Vondel gets all that damage from. And, man, John Darnell involved. He was having a good night up until that point. But Mark Vondel, heavy damage to the front end of Mark. And we'll go back one more time and look at it. You can just see the checkups here. So a couple incidents there. And like we said, no fault to Melton. He's just fallen leader here. And yeah, there's the stack up. Accordion effect. There goes Boyd. So really no fault to these drivers. Stack up probably came from farther up. And Stephen Miles just gets loose, snaps loose because of it. Mark Vondel, wrong place, wrong time. Nick Seipel just avoids it. But Mark Vondel off the pace, off the racetrack here, and that might be the end of his night. Well, back here live, you see Vondel there on pit lane, as is Stephen Miles. But Freddie Bazinez, Daniel Falkingham, now your front row here as we get set to restart again. 3 cautions as we get closer to that halfway point. We need some green flag racing here now. It looked good early. The cautions have bred some cautions here. As the pace car lights will go out this time by. We'll take a quick break here live in the PGR eSports Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here at Daytona. Back here live at the World Center of Racing, the 2.5-mile famed Daytona International Speedway. Bazinez, Falkingham, the latest back to green here as we get close to that 30-lap mark, that halfway point of this race. Joe Horta now here into the top 5. Garrett Maines as well, so 2 number 1s side by side up here in the Goodyear blimp. Pace car going to dive off into pit lane again. We've had 3 cautions here tonight. We'll see if we get some green flag racing as the 88 of Falkingham leads us to the Geico restart zone. Green flag flying as these cars get up to speed here, accelerate down into turn number 1 at Daytona. If you're just joining us, 3 cautions and some really good racing early on. Shout out to James Wagner's Welding, 336-670-3427. And Ruff Neck Racing, Money Madness Racing. And every Wednesday night here is, wow, Chase Mistretta. A big shove to the back bumper of Garrett Maines, and Mistretta almost gets into the 39. Some crazy racing here going on. And back a little bit of the ways. Estrada right behind. Garrett Maines there, and Chris Walker getting until there. Here comes Kenny Reel, the number 11. Kenny Reel has really come on strong of late. Ooh, he better be careful there. Comes down the racetrack. These drivers not judging great. I mean, a lot of these looks like that preferred lane is that third lane, that top lane, and we got to be careful drifting down a little bit. What a beautiful paint scheme there for the Jack Shack driver of Kenny Reel. Man, he gets a massive run, and here he goes. It's going to stall out just a little bit as he has no help. Here comes his help. Wyatt Gray. Ooh, Kenny Reel going to the apron. Something could be wrong with him. A possible penalty. He's possibly serving a penalty. Not quite sure. Oh, yellow's out. That is what that yellow flag is out. And that is Logan Clampett. Wow, so that caught me off guard. That's kind of why Reel was going to... And we'll see what happened here. Ooh, looked like Walker above. See, Logan Clampett looked like he was involved. Yeah, it just started. It actually started up in front of Clampett. So we're going to have to go back here to, I believe, Chris Walker. Yeah, he's going to get turned. Wow, by Nash Brambilla. Uncharacteristic move there. Chris Walker cannot save it. Here comes Gilsdorf. And Wright, as well as Austin Green. And, man, they stack right up. I mean, I believe right there it's Thies and I believe, is that... Can't tell who that is, but they kind of just pile in. So does Merck. And, man, a big one here again. And, man, we had really good racing early on. And, unfortunately here, those cautions just breed cautions. And oh, we're going back live here up to the front of this pack. They're all coming down pit stops here. Pit lane is busy. Sunoco Racing Fuel. See some of them getting some tires here, left side tires. And we'll see who wins the battle off pit lane. It's fierce. It's going to be Freddie Bazinas. Austin Green assumes the lead. John Ward second. So some new players here in the front. Maybe some strategy here for the 87-92. Halfway through, finally halfway through here on a Wednesday night. Joe Seipel in the chat. And he wants his son, the 75, to get his butt up to the front. Buster Malcolm asking, is that Chris Carter? Yes, it is. Chris Carter in the race here tonight. And while we have y'all, a lot of viewers here watching the race tonight, if you want to drop PGR eSports a super chat or a super sticker, if you look on the chat here on the YouTube channel, look underneath, there's a little dollar bill sign where you could show your support for PGR eSports. Send us a super sticker or a super chat, any dollar amount, and it will go to help support PGR eSports and all that we do over here. And we would very much appreciate it. Understand if you cannot, but drop the super chat or sticker if you can here tonight. And we are going to be live here with a few drivers here in the chat tonight. It's going to be John Ward, James Warren, Sean Corbett. But right now, John Ward, he looks like he is in the front in second. The number 92, John Ward, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Mike.
All right, man. Well, that Toyota's bad fast here tonight. Looks like some strategy is going to put you up here on that front row for the restart. Just past the halfway point, John. Tell us about tonight's race. Looks like it's pretty racy out there.
Yeah. These cars are very fun, exciting. A lot of pushing, a lot of checking up, and my strategy was going to try to get to 0x, and once I got a 4x, I decided to flip the strategy, and I pit on one to go that last run. So I'm gonna stay out this time. Hopefully, we get a yellow within a few laps, and I get back on the right page with these guys, and it'll work out for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I like the strategy. I've played that myself quite a few times. Seems to work, especially in a race where, you're playing the trend here of the yellow flag. And it looks like hopefully you'll get one and be able to, kind of hold that track position. We're going to look down the list here. James Warren, unfortunately, on pit road here tonight. Tell us about your night.
9 minutes of repair, so I'm just trying to get it all fixed and minimize the laps down for now. So I just figure I'm just going to go ahead and get it all fixed and hope there's going to be more cautions. I get lucky to get my laps back.
Well, there's the strategy for James Warren. Sean Corbett, hometown Wilmington, North Carolina, in the number 45, currently being scored, I believe, in the 17th and or 18th position here in that top lane. What's going to take here tonight, Corbett? You're going to have to get closer to that front here, about mid-pack right now. What's going to take, man? What a good paint scheme right there.
Yeah. Eyes wide open. That's what it is. Head on a swivel, just seeing as far ahead of me as I can and just waiting for, try to survive and let everybody get settled is all I'm doing, buddy.
All right, well, I'm going to stick around for just a minute here on this lap. We'll tune in to some race audio here with Warren, Ward, Corbett here as we go back green at Daytona.
You in front, Josh? John?
Yeah. If I see
Bottom,
accident, I'll holler.
Yeah, coming up on the back.
Yeah, I'm on the bottom.
Somebody's split in the middle. Whoa, it's this, I don't know who that was, but daggone. Yeah, get ready. Somebody's doing the landing. Coming right up the middle.
John Ward into the lead. Some great radio communication there with the team. We'll hop on out. Hopefully we'll be talking to one of these guys here in Victory Lane tonight. And wow, yeah, some awesome insight there. John Ward, some strategy there. He's going to hope for that caution here soon. Try to get on a level playing field with the fuel strat. Good call by John. I think with the trends here tonight with those cautions, they're getting racy. Here it comes. It might come right now. It does not. They're going to save it. Man, that was almost a big one there. Here comes the 4U. Cody Neagles is going to get turned. Wow, Cody's going to save it. And these guys racing with a reckless abandon today. That's Chris Carter right into Neagles there. Cody cannot be too happy. Astronaut all over the back bumper of Carter. There's Scott Warren as well. Devin Ray joins the chat. Caden Diedrich to the lead. And man, some furious racing there. John Ward the lane, and it's been like this all night. That's reminiscent of like a Gen 6 race. You see a lot of these cars parked up on that high lane, taking big runs, and man, this is really fun to watch when we can get going and go green. As Diedrich blocks that run from Austin Green. Now, wow, he's scraping the wall through the tri-oval using all that racetrack. As is Hennings, we're going to have a wreck. Wreck farther on back. Caution is going to fly. Yep, there it is. Caution is out. Warren crashed. Real off the track. Still wrecking here. 39 involved. 11 heavy damage. With 26 laps to go, I believe, fourth caution of the night. Can't keep track at this point. These guys been racking them up ever since that really good run to start tonight's race. And we'll go back here and try to figure out what happened to bring out this caution. I'm not sure if this is the incident. Looked like there might have been one ahead of this group. But I know the 11 involved. And they might have just been, yep, they're going to come right up into the wreck and have to try to avoid it is essentially what's going to happen with these guys. So the wreck actually starts farther on up. And a little ARCA brake there, right? And, ooh, yeah, you see the ARCA brake 31. This gets right up into the back bumper of the 11. Can't see the names on those drivers right now. And we'll go back and try to figure out where that caution started. I believe it starts a little up here with Scott Warren involved. Possibly Kenny Real, we'll see. Here goes Warren to the middle. Yeah, he's going to go to the middle, get up into Joe Horta. That's going to send Joe Horta and his teammate Trevor Ashburnoth right up into the wall. Sparks fly here. There goes Warren off the front bumper of Ashburnoth. Flaps up, keeping that car grounded here, and that essentially brings out that caution. Chris Carter needs his chat on. Unfortunately, I am not an admin in the session doing the broadcast, but if anyone's out there listening, an admin of tonight's race, Chris Carter asking for his chat to be turned on. Right, we go back up front. The race off pit lane. It's furious. Caden Dietrich. He's going to remain in the lead here with 24 laps to go. Pace car lights are on. And we'll go around here a couple more times before we take that green. Jimmy Crow here in the chat tonight. And I agree with Jimmy, and we're going to have some different rules on Thursday nights for PGR starting tomorrow night. We will be launching an all-new rule system here in the next week and a half. But for the most part, tomorrow night we will start with a non-toxicity policy where we're going to remove all the toxicity from the race radio and from the Discord. So if any driver, or anybody for that matter, shows any toxicity, aggression, abusive behavior, they can and will be moved from the racing session, and they will lose privileges to chat in future races and in the Discord. So on Thursday nights, get ready to race because the Intimidator Super Speedway Series returns tomorrow night, and it won't be installed with all the new rules, as it's going to take another week to get all those out, but drivers will now be able to appeal all of their cause of caution penalties. So if a race control finds a driver at fault and causes a caution, they can submit an appeal form after the race within 24 hours, and the competition committee will vote to either uphold or change their appeal, and they will be able to get their money back from the PGR RNR fund. So kind of cool for the drivers starting tomorrow night. It's usually, hey, the RC taketh, and you don't get anything back. But, hey, if the RC taketh and they are deemed to be wrong, the drivers can, in fact, get their entry fee back. So be a cool new wrinkle. But with that said, drivers will be under the microscope in a race radio and the Discord, and they will have to be on their best behavior on Thursday nights. And we're going to go green next time by. We'll have 22 laps to go when we take the green. And quite a bit of viewers here tonight. Want to appreciate all you jumping on in. And showing up for these drivers. And, you know, we'll get to some of the season schedule. We'll get to the points. It's one thing I usually do early on. I got caught up watching some really good racing in the beginning of this race. And unfortunately, a little bit caution-filled throughout the middle here. We'll see if these guys put on a show here at the end. Next week, join us Wednesday night. It'll be the Xfinity Series car at Talladega on May the 14th. We'll be in the next gen in Daytona for racing on May 21st. Truck Series, Craftsman Trucks to Talladega, May 28th. Back in the Xfinity here at Daytona on the 4th of June. ARCA car, New Atlanta, June 11th. Trucks, Talladega, June 18th. And it all culminates with the next gen at Daytona on June 25th as the green flag is back in the air. Diedrich, Bazin, and Seipel, your top three. 22 to go here as we're going to count them down. Wyatt Gray pushing Bazines. Here comes the Wigan Water Technology. Oh, we're going to have a wreck. We almost did. Seipel, Bazines, Hennings, a close call. 2 by 2, Chris Carter, though, to the middle. Chris Carter, he has been aggressive here tonight. I believe it's Chris Carter. I can't keep track of these schemes. It is Chris Carter. Their number 40, Mountain Dew. That middle lane not going to work. There goes Garrett Baines. He's parachuting on back. He's going to have to find a way to get back in line. We'll see if he gets some help. And he does. Man, we are fanning out all over the place here in the front. Daniel Eberhardt, he's back in the mix. Man, these guys, it seems like these guys get these runs shoot out of the cannon. And watch this right here. Chris Melton racing with Falkingham. Brambilla. 3 wide. Eberhardt. Man, Eberhardt slams off the wall. To the top goes Diedrich. Hennings back to the middle in front of his teammate Brambilla. These guys are on the razor's edge here tonight at Daytona. All they can handle here in this ARCA car. And it looks reminiscent, like I said, of that Gen 6. It kind of reminds me of all those big runs. And man, these cars are a handful here tonight. Mastrada back up here in the front in the 8. Gray now your leader in the 18. And caution back out. Caution back out. Man, we've been watching all this action in the front. We have not found all the action in the back. Caution back out here on the racetrack. And we'll try to find out why. I believe possible Jared Haynes involved. Not quite sure. We'll find out. This is real time here. Says Jared Haynes was involved. You can just see all the checkups here. And there he goes. There goes Jared Haynes right there. And Chris Carter looks like he gets into the 7 of Haynes. Possibly some netcode. 3 wide. Carter just drifts up the racetrack. Gets into Horta and into Jared Haynes. Regardless if he touched him or not, netcode is going to aid that one. And Christopher Carter there brings out this caution. Heavy damage for Jared Haynes. His Jack Shack teammate as well gets some. Haynes on the brakes right there. And man, fortunate there for Jared, as he was looking to have a good run here tonight. Front bumper comes off the 7. And man, that'll be a lot of damage just late in the race. Might not have a shot now, but hey, 19 laps to go. Anything could happen. As great. Now your leader. We'll see if these guys come down pit lane, because they cannot make it. In my calculations, they'll not be able to make it. Cool shot here. The Digger pit lane cam. And Wyatt Gray, your leader, going to come down into his pit stall. Splash of gas is all it's going to take here. It'll have to peel on out. We'll see if Wyatt Gray can hold that top spot. It looks like he will. Here's the race off pit lane. Matt Lee, not here tonight, I do not believe. He's actually, Matt Lee, your leader here through 3 races with a win. And total of 24 points. Freddie Bazinez in second with 20 points. He has 2 wins. So Matt Lee, Freddie Bazinez, your winners here through 3 weeks. Freddie, 2 out of the 3 weeks. Man, with wins and still doesn't lead the points. Matt Lee really, really good here. Axel Smith in third. D3, Daniel Eberhardt tied in fourth with Malik Ray. 6, John Ward. Michael Guest, I do not believe here tonight, in 7th. Christopher Melton in 8th. Steven Miles in 9th. And Cody Niegels in 10th. That's your current top 10 in the points. Remember, you got to take top 10 to score points. And, man, there's a lot of money on the line down the road in those playoffs or in that championship. So, points are valuable, and that's why you're going to see all these drivers racing hard tonight. As Warren now leads, some more strategy being played out here as we will go around Daytona one more time. Pace car lights will go out this time by. We'll step aside here. And we will be right back here live on the PGR eSports Network. Back here live with 17 laps to go. It's actually going to be 16 as we hit the line. Warren's going to lead here on the top lane in the 76 as we go back green here for Ruff Neck Madness Money Racing season number 2, race number 4. Warren leads gray here into turn number 1. Bazinez looking for 3 wins in 4 weeks to start the season. He is on fire, and he's here in the top 4, looking to get it done yet again. Hayden Diedrich, Nick Seipel right behind, as is Daniel Falkingham. So here comes the cream, is rising to the top, as it always seems to do here at the Super Speedways. Two by two down the backstretch. There's a big run here for Diedrich. As the pusher is Bazinez, doing a great job here. And it's just that top lane all night long has been fast. And all these cars looking really good under the lights here at Daytona. 3 wide here, a little bit farther on back. D3, ooh, there goes Warren down. Garrett Maines, he's still trying to scratch claw his way here back to the front. And all these cars, ooh, we got action here. Couple off the racetrack. We stay green. Wyatt Gray off the racetrack, almost hits the inside wall. Way off pace. He's going to need a caution. But the way these guys are racing still up here in the front, we probably will get one. Nathan Harper, here he comes into the 39. A great push from the one of Garrett Maines. D3 still trying to make that middle lane work a little bit farther back. Warren behind him. Austin Green. Here comes Kenny Reel again. Aaron Vasquez, we haven't heard from him much tonight, but here he comes in 15th position. Sterling Thies. He's trying to make some moves here. Get in this race. Top 15 payout. That was new here last week. So there's going to be a lot of racing for that 15th position. Add some intrigue here. So top 15 in this race will all pay. So lots to race for. I mean, right here, right now, you're looking at this wad of cars in the top 15, all racing for money positions all the way till this final lap here tonight. .36 gets a little high there. That's Sterling Thies. He's getting pushed by John Ward. They try to make a run here up to the front. Man, D3 is wearing him out here in that middle lane. He is head down, aggressive, trying to get to the front of his pack. Diedrich still leads out front. Falkingham in second. Harper, Maines, your top four. Austin Green now. Looking good in the 87. Ford, here he comes as the top lane now. Backs up just a little bit. Man, D3 is all over anybody in front of him. He is trying to get somewhere in a hurry. And he'll try to make the moves that are right. He's going to the middle, going to the bottom. D3 doing everything he can to gain that track position and give it a go for tonight's race win. He's going to file down into the bottom lane, as is John Ward. And hey, if we're in that pit window, you can expect some pit stops soon, very soon. Keep an eye here on these drivers. And that could really change tonight's race. Because if we get to that green flag stop, which it could come sooner, as these cars pretty much in their window at this point. And that could split up this field. And it will be the money stop. You're not going to want to get a penalty. So you're going to have to slow down to that 60 mile an hour pit lane speed. Can't slide your box. You're going to have to get that Sunoco race fuel packed up in here. And you're going to have a safe pit exit. And it's going to be very interesting. We might not need a green flag stop as one's off. That's going to be Scott Warren. He has crashed off the track. Warren off pace. Stays up front. It's Caden, Diedrich, Garrett Maines. Cockpit view here of Nick Seipel. Right behind Nash Brambilla. They are riding this wall very closely here down the backstretch. Cody Neagles. Look middle for just a second. Riding behind Ruff Necks is Daniel Eberhardt III. Freddie Vazquez right behind Austin Green. 10 laps to go. 9 now at Daytona. It's been an eventful night. We started with a great run, green flag run, until we got our first caution of the night around 15, I believe 14, 15 laps into the race. Then cautions bred cautions throughout most of the race, and now here we are back green and logging some green flag laps, and hey, we might just do it and get to the very end of this race. And if we do, it's going to be some really good, entertaining racing here. Falkingham on the bottom. He looks to make his move. D3 slowly but surely picking him off here on the bottom. Garrett Main's in contention for the win, as is Austin Green. Bazinez looking for that third win in just 4 races here in the season. See Cody Eagles to the middle lane. He needs some help, though, to make that run up here to the front. He gets it. Chase Mastretta linked up with Eagles, the 8, the 6. Here they come, trying to punch a hole right through the hearts of these drivers. And Nash Brambilla sees it. He's going to take it. 3 wide at Daytona, 7 laps to go. Nick Seipel, some sparks flying from his machine. Cody Neagles to the top. Man, he is going to the front in a hurry. Mastretta's still in the middle. Falkingham now inches ahead of Diedrich, as his teammate Harper pushing him to the lead. Falkingham clears right in front of Diedrich. A great job right there saving it as they get into each other just a little bit. Bazinez, Neagles, and Mains now. That's your top 5 on the top. But on the bottom, it is Harper, Melton back into this one. Long way to go. 6 laps to go here at Daytona. But it's a 2.5 mile super speedway. A lot can happen in just these 6 laps. 3 wide, a little bit farther back. More sparks fly. And these cars, all these drivers here tonight in that third lane, brushing that wall. They're going to have scrapes down the right side of their ARCA cars here tonight. Diedrich dives to the bottom, side by side with Falkingham, the NASCAR Coke Series Pro. He has his hands full tonight. Wyatt Gray there, he's going to go to the apron. He is going to go down a lap if he hasn't already. Diedrich has put on a clinic thus far here. Ew, just as I said, Diedrich turned from the lead. Caution out. Oh, wow, that's Nash Brambilla hits hard into the wall. And that's going to be a product of what happened in the front. Look at the damage to Brambilla. His night ends. And a big one here. Let's go back up and take a peek here. What happened to Caden Diedrich? Getting pushed by Harper and, yep, pushing in the turn. That's going to happen. That one's going to go to the 39 of Nathan Harper, I would assume, as he turns the 24 down the racetrack. And they all start checking up. And it looks like Diedrich saved it, but it just sucks for the guys farther back, and I believe Daniel Eberhardt involved. And as soon as that stack up happens, I mean, Mastretta, I believe, gets into D3. Yes, he does. He tried to lift. He saw the flames coming out the pipe, but Mastretta turns the 90 up to the racetrack. Ooh, yeah, Netcode's going to take over, gets Nash Brambilla. Oh, yeah, D3, his night's going to end. Brambilla, Mastretta, Hastings. All right, Rocky Boyd again. Sterling Thies. And a big one here at Daytona in the closing laps. As you see Nash Brambilla on pit lane. Daniel Falkingham, your leader. And remember, there's only one green-white checkered here. Pace car lights are still on. With 3 laps to go. When they come back around, it'll be 2. So, yes, I believe this will put us into NASCAR overtime. So overtime tonight, and it'll be one and only overtime. They will run it out, so we will run it out. 2 laps will remain in this one. Falkingham leads Neagles, Basnett, Harper, and Maines. And while we have a second, we're going to pull up the leader of the race, the 88, Daniel Falkingham. You got a copy?
Hey, how we doing?
Yeah, we're doing good here as we get close to the end of this one. Looks like we're heading to an NASCAR overtime, and that overtime will be just one green-white checkered. You are being scored as the leader. What's it going to take to get it done? I'll tell you what, just from up here, these runs are massive in this car, and Matt's going to take a lot to throw some blocks.
Yeah, not only that, my first worry right now at the moment is fuel because, like, I'm walking on a tightrope right now to make sure we can get to the end. I went pretty aggressive there on that last run because I thought we were going to get a lot more cautions, but I was just burning fuel up front, especially leading that bottom. So, right now, my main concern is trying to make sure I got enough fuel to make it these last 2 laps, and then we'll start thinking about how we're going to try to win this thing because, I'm walking on such a tightrope on fuel, but I think we should be good. But other than that, these runs in the ARCA car are crazy. I feel like the top is going to be the lane you want to be in, but I don't know. I'm not sure how to manage this, but hopefully we can figure it out and bring this thing home in one piece.
Well, good luck on that. Maybe we'll be talking to you here shortly.
All right, thanks, Mike.
That was Daniel Falkingham, the 2025 PGR 500 champion. And we'll see if he can get it done here tonight. The pace car lights will go out as we head to NASCAR overtime. We're going to line them up. It's going to be Daniel Falkingham here on the bottom. Right in P2, that'll be Freddie Bazinas. In third, Cody Neagles. In fourth, it'll be Garrett Maines. Fifth will be Austin Green. So, man, wow, this is going to be amazing. Actually, fifth might be Chris Melton. So, hold your breath. This is going to be one heck of a finish here on Wednesday night. Who's going to get the job done? Freddie Bazinas, looking for 3 wins in just 4 races on the season. Falkingham looking for his first win of the season, as is Neagles, as is Maines. Don't go anywhere. We're going to go green next time, but it'll be green, white, checkered finish. One and only overtime. And here we go. Ready to get this one to its conclusion. We heard from Falkingham. He is saving fuel. And can he save enough is the question. We shall find out. Pace car to pit lane. This will be the last restart of the night to the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the air. Who is going to win it? A great start here for the 88 of Daniel Falkingham. He clears up to the top in front of Bazinas. Neagles nowhere here on the bottom. No speed for him in Melton. That top lane is cooking. Garrett Maines, Austin Green, Nick Seipel. Kenny Reel now has a shot at this one. Just 2 laps to go. It'll be official regardless, as this is the one and only overtime. Down the backstretch, 3 wide farther back. We'll see if that middle or bottom lane can make their way back up here to the front. 1 in the wall. They're going to save it. Here goes Seipel. He takes the run. And, man, that might be the race-winning move. Seipel now. A big head of steam. Daniel Falkingham thought about it. Decided not to do it. White flag being showed in the flag stand. 1 lap to go here Falkingham getting pushed hard by Bazinez. Seipel still cannot make it up front here. I think the winner's going to come from that top lane. Seipel gets loose. That bottom lane stalls out. Who is going to go and make that run? Second, third, fourth on back, we'll see. Brian Hennings now. He's got a shot at this one. There goes Garrett Maines. He's going to take the run. Will anyone else do it? They do. The 15 car here on the bottom. Falkingham, a great push from Bazinez. Jeff Merck in the 15 has a shot at this one. Outside turn number 4. Bazinez all over the bumper of Falkingham. He gets him loose. Can't shake him loose. Falkingham the winner at Daytona. Daniel Falkingham to victory lane on a Wednesday night here in race number 4 of season 2. And that man we just talked to, we're going to be talking to again here shortly. Daniel Falkingham to victory lane. And hey, why not? Let's bring him right in the booth. Daniel Falkingham, tonight's winner.
Hey, hello.
Hey, we might as well get you when you're happy, man. I do this a few times here and there, but oh, wow. That was a heck of a finish. I'm still catching my breath, as I'm sure you are. Out of fuel, I'm assuming here. Might not see some burnouts tonight, but heck, tell us about those last couple laps.
Yeah, man, just trying to just manage the runs and trying to manage my fuel, too, because us ripping the outside lane, it's a longer way around, and I think I did it perfectly because I literally sputtered right when I crossed the finish line. So, but yeah, just trying to manage the runs. I think Freddie was trying to back up on the back straightaway, so I was backing up to him. I was kind of trying to run, like, partial throttle, 1, to save a little bit to get more gas, and 2, try to prevent the run that's coming from behind. And thankfully, those guys were all making moves to the bottom. I trapped Freddie behind where Jeff made the move. I just kept it blocked on Freddie, and then I just straight up was trying to block Freddie to the best of my ability coming back to the start-finish line. And thankfully, I definitely, if I would have turned myself, it was whatever. It would have been my own fault, but that's what you got to do to try to win these races with how crazy the runs are and how quickly it is to make a move. But we needed a result like this. We needed to win like this, man, because we're a little bit behind in the points, and this is going to help us a lot. So feels really good right now. John, we're still trying to make it to the finish line here, trying to coast. I think we can make it, hopefully.
Well, we're watching you here try to get to the finish line. It won't matter. You already crossed it, but trying to get there for the fans up here in the stands. But, hey, man, it doesn't matter. Burnouts or not, you're here in victory lane tonight. You talked a little bit about those points. We're taking a peek here at those points right now. And I know the leader, Bazinez has a couple wins in the first 3 races of this season. And I believe you were in 13th position through these, these first 3 races. And I believe only 4 total points. And this is going to vault you definitely up into the standings. But more importantly, Daniel, that big race win, that's really going to help through the rest of the season and get to, what is some epic payouts in the championship.
Yeah, that's the main goal, because this season rewards a lot of consistency. And I've been up front at a lot of these races, but just circumstances have gone heavily against us. It seems to be like this in this series in particular. But hopefully a result like this can get us some good momentum going, because this ain't a long season, only 8 or 9 races or something like that. We need Freddie to start having some bad luck or whatever. But now this will do a lot for us, and we'll definitely take the nice little cash that comes with it tonight. But we know the long-term goal, trying to get up the standings, see if we can go try to get top overall. But right now, it's we're going to celebrate this one. And we're about to make it to the whole finish line here, so we're going to have 2 victories on the night here, hopefully.
Yeah, we're watching to do that. Well, while you do that, before we let you go, celebrate in victory lane, anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Yeah, shout out you putting on the broadcast. Shout out to Wagoner and all his crew for putting this stuff on. Shout out to G Maines, Merck, and also Nathan for helping me out tonight. Good teamwork tonight. We had all of us up there in the spots at the end, but a lot of wrecking was going on behind me. But I appreciate those guys for working with me tonight. And shout out to everyone watching. And that's about it.
All right, Daniel, we'll let you go celebrate in victory lane. Good job here tonight.
Thank you, Mike.
That was your race winner. We got him right after he got his victory here tonight in Ruff Neck Madness Money Racing. We got both the 3rd place and 2nd place finishers up here. Hey, let's do a double interview here tonight. Hennings, Bazinez, you got copies?
Yep.
What's going on?
All right, man. Well, I try to innovate here and try to do a couple different things here each night, but we're going to bring you both up here. We got you. Brian, we'll start with you here. Not green flag, but last lap of the race, green-white checkered, the only green-white checkered, and looked like you were in about 4th position there and came up here to finish on the podium in 3rd. Walk us through that crazy last lap.
Yeah, I was just watching the bottom line. It was prevailing sometimes, and I was just keeping my eye on Garrett behind me, and just trying to go with wherever the flow was going, and worked out, stayed on the top, and top kind of prevailed. So I just followed along suit and tried to get Freddie there for P2 with a little run there at the end, but I'll take a P3.
Yeah, Freddie, you make that move to go down. Falkingham, as savvy as he is, blocks it. You come back up in front of Hennings. Looks like you might have it, but at that point, no one's connected there. Anything you could do differently there to try to get around the 88 tonight?
I mean, I probably could have made a more aggressive move to the bottom, and I don't really know. I mean, maybe could have set up a run, but it was still some pretty. I don't think I could have really done anything. Maybe if Falkingham would have gotten turned, and I wouldn't have gotten an EO for that, but maybe that could have been it. Maybe if somebody in this call named Brian Hennings would have went with me, I could have won. Nah, I'm playing. But yeah, nothing really I can do.
Hey, yeah, we got to work on beating Dan.
Yep.
Well, that's hard to do here.
Yes.
Daniel Falkingham, one of the best to do it. But hey, Brian, it was a crazy race. We started off with a really good green flag run. Nearly got to green flag stops, and it was derailed by the first caution of the night. Cautions bred cautions throughout the middle of the race, and it seemed like at the end we had some good racing. But tell us about this ARCA car here at Daytona. It looked like it was a pretty racy car, almost reminiscent of almost the Gen 6.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, you get some crazy runs, and it's good and bad. I mean, some people just don't know what to do when they get the run, and I try not to plow into people when I get a run. But I mean, the car is fun to drive, but still bumper hooks. It can still be tough. I mean, I had a 20X. Yeah, I think I finished with 20X, but spotter still said no damage. So it's a fun car, but you just got to be careful with it.
Well, Freddie, we saw you kind of up in the front all night long. Is that kind of your goal here in these super speedway money races, to kind of get up front, stay up front, and try to avoid a lot of that mid-pack on back chaos?
Yeah, really. I mean, that's what I try to do. I mean, I'm never really going to save fuel or none of that. I always like to be up front, racing, just to be ready for the end, and to not get in those wrecks is probably the biggest reason why. So I always like to be in the top 5, top 10, and if I'm there, I feel like I'm good for most of the race.
Well, Brian Hennings, you were the 3rd place finisher here tonight. We'll let you go first. Anyone you want to thank or shout out before we let you go?
Real quick shout out to Dougie. Happy birthday, Doug. He won the league race earlier before this one, so happy birthday to him. Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. Benji gave me a shout out, so what's up, Benji? My VRX teammates, even though it's not in here. Who else? Wife and daughter, I guess, for now. And Kevin Malarkey. Hi, Kevin.
All right, and we'll go up to our runner-up here tonight, Freddie Bazinez. Anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, thanks to everybody that puts on the show, the RC. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting it. My teammates, Miles and Nick for this race tonight. Also, everybody else that's on the team. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, guys, we'll go celebrate your podium finishes here tonight. Really good points night here in RNR's Wednesday Madness Money Race, and we'll hopefully talk to you guys again soon.
Yeah, see you
Thanks,
later.
Mike. Have a good one.
All right, well, those guys are going to go celebrate off into the night. Tonight's race results, Daniel Falkingham, he is your race winner. Freddie Bazinez, P2. Brian Hennings, P3. That's your podium. Austin Green finishes in the 4th position. Jeff Merck in 5th. Cody Neagle's a good run for him in 6th. Nick Seipel in 7th. Garrett Maines in 8th. Joe Horta in 9th. Rounding out your top 10 here tonight, the real and Kenny Real. Number 11 here tonight on the board, Joshua McCullough. Nathan Harper finishes in 12th. Caden Diederich, man, he led some laps tonight, finishes in 13th. Stephen Miles finishes in 14th. Chris Melton in 15th. John Ward in 16th. John Darnell in 17th. Wyatt Gray in 18th. Hunter Hastings in 19th. In 20th here tonight, that's going to be Sean Corbett. Aaron Vasquez in 21st. Sterling Thies, 22nd. Scott Warren in 23rd. Jared Haynes, 24th. D3, Daniel Eberhardt in 25th. Christopher Carter, 26th. Rocky Boyd III, 27th. Corey Wright in 28th. Chase Mastretta, 29th. And rounding out your top 30, that's Nash Brambilla. Brandon McKee, 31st here tonight. James Gilsdorf, 32nd. James Waring, 33rd. Dylan Basin, 34th. Trevin Ashwornoth in 35th. Chris DaRooster Waka in 36th. Chris Ramsey, 37th. Logan Clampett, 38th. Mark Von Dell, 39th. Adam Young in 40th. Steve Sizemore, 41st. And rounding out your 42-car field, that is Dylan C. Jones. So, wow, what a race here tonight in the ARCA Series car at Daytona. It was another Wednesday night of some great racing here. But the man was on a mission. His name, Daniel Falkingham, in Victory Lane, celebrating here tonight. We want to thank all of you joining us here tonight on the live stream. All you guys putting in the chat. All the drivers. James Wagner of Wagoner's Welding. Check them out every Wednesday night as well as Friday nights. They are doing some good things over here at RNR. Well, that's it for me here tonight on the PGR eSports Network. I was your host, Michael Triscaro. Tomorrow night, the Intimidator Super Speedway Series, PGR eSports returns as they head to Talladega Super Speedway, the Xfinity Series car, and the new and improved series on Thursday nights. And man, I am looking forward to watching how that driving unfolds. Capped at 40 cars, and now you have to be a exempt and or Intimidator licensed driver. So fields could be a little smaller, but they are going to be filled with some high-class drivers. Well, that's it for tonight. I will talk to you guys all soon. Have a good night here on the PGR eSports Network.